Now, our next topic is gamma integral. Gamma integral. The gamma integral is an important result which is very useful in the evaluation of some particular type of improper definite integrals. Some particular type of improper definite integrals. We have already learned about definite integrals. An integral function which is expressed without limits are known as indefinite integral. But in the same time, an integral function which is expressed within the limits or and definite limits, within definite limits is known as definite integral. Now we have improper definite integrals, that is, next one is a proper definite integral. What is mean proper definite integral? Definite integral we know. What is mean proper? That is, proper definite integral means a proper definite integral is an integral function which has both of its limits a and b. A, b, f of x dx. This integral is known as proper definite integral. It is definite integral because a to b f of x, within the limit we are integrating. We have finite limit, so definite integral is has a to b a finite interval. In this, it is known as proper means, if we call it as proper, which has both of its limits a and b are finite, and the integrand f of x is continuous in a b. This f of x is continuous in the closed interval AB, and A and B are finite value. It should be -1 to +1 or minus 10 to 25. Like this, A and B we should have both A and B are finite limits, finite values, and also this f of x is continuous between these intervals, -1 to closed interval -1 to +1. We can call it as, this is proper definite integral. When we integrating within a particular limit, that is definite integral. If it is proper definite integral, both the limits a and b are real numbers, they are finite real numbers, they are finite. The limits a and b are finite. Then the integrand f of x, the f of x is a function is integrand. This f of x is continuous in between in the defined interval, closed interval a b. Then we can call it as proper definite integral. Now we are moving to improper definite integral. Improper definite integral. There is a difference between the two, proper definite and improper definite integral. Here, the improper definite integral. An improper definite integral is an integral function in which the limits either a or b are both. Either the limit a or b or both a and b are both are infinite. Like this way, 0 to infinity f of x dx, or integral minus infinity to 0 f of x dx, or integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx. Now look at these three integral values. Here upper limit is infinity, here lower limit is minus infinity, here both the limits are infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity. So these typical cases are known as improper definite integral. So improper definite integral is nothing but an improper definite integral is an integral function in which the limits either a or b or both are infinite, or the integrand function f of x is continuous, f of x becomes infinity. The continuous function become infinite at some points of the interval a b. There are two cases, either a or b or both be infinity, else one another condition, f of x becomes, or the integrand f of x becomes infinite at some points of the interval a to b, at some point of interval a to b. This type of integral known as improper definite integral. And the gamma integral is also one of the improper integral function. A gamma integral is also one of the improper integral function. For n greater than 0, n is a positive number, comma 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 e to the power minus x dx. For n greater than 0, integral 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 e to the power minus x dx is known as gamma function and is denoted by gamma of n, and is denoted by the symbol gamma of n, and is denoted by gamma of n. Gamma integral, this is also one of the improper definite integral, and for every n greater than 0, integral 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 e power minus x dx is known as gamma function. It is denoted by gamma of n. The symbol is known as, you read it as gamma of n. This is gamma of n. If n is positive integer, then if n is positive integer, then the integral 0 to infinity x power n e power minus ax, dx. When n is positive, then the integral 0 to infinity x power n e power minus ax dx is particular case of gamma integral is particular case of gamma integral and its integral value is equal to, it's very easy to calculate. The integral value is equal to factorial n by or n factorial by a power n plus 1. N factorial by a power n plus 1. This will be very useful in probability also. When we calculate 0 to infinity improper definite integrals in the form of x power n e power minus ax dx, in all the integral values, when we find mean, variance and all these type of formulas very useful when the limit exists 0 to infinity. So this is very important formula, one of the very important, and easily we can calculate the answers also. If it is in the form of x power n e power minus ax dx, we can directly go with the result of n factorial by a power n plus 1. This is very important result. So the second case of gamma integral is, if n is positive integer, this is a particular case only for 0 to infinity x power n e power minus ax dx form only we can apply. For these type of forms it is not applicable. Only it is in the form of x power n e power minus ax dx, we can go with the formula n factorial by a power n plus 1. N is the power of x and a is the coefficient of x, e power ax, coefficient of x. Here n is positive integer, then it follows the particular case of 0 to infinity x power n e power minus ax dx, that will be equal to n factorial by a power n plus 1. This is known as gamma integral. This is known as gamma function. This is a gamma function. This is known as gamma integral. The two results are very important to complete this exercise. Properties of gamma integral. Here, the first property is gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1, gamma n minus 1, where n greater than 1. Here n should be greater than 1. So gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. For example, gamma of 3 equal to n minus 1 2, then gamma of 2. Again we can simplify this again. 2 into gamma of n, here n equal to 2, substitute here 1 into gamma of 1. Here the value of gamma of 1 equal to 1. Gamma of 1 equal to 1. So 2 into 1 into 1 equal to 2. Simple thing. Similarly, we can calculate any number given for n. For a given n, we can calculate these type of answers. Gamma of 10, gamma of 7 by 2, gamma of 5 we can calculate. Very simple. Gamma of n equal to n minus 1 into gamma of n minus 1. So gamma of 3 means n minus 1 2, then gamma of 2. Then gamma of 2 can be again recalculated by the use of above formula. 2 minus 1 1, gamma of 1 minus 1, 2 minus 1 1. So gamma of 1 is always 1. So we can substitute here. So it is equal to 2. That is the property number 1. Now moving to the second property, gamma of n plus 1. Gamma of n plus 1. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to gamma of n plus 1. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n gamma of n. Because we have gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma n minus 1. When we substitute n plus 1 instead n, here n plus 1 minus 1 is n, here also n plus 1 minus n is n. So from the first formula we can derive the second one. Substitute n equal to n plus 1 in the previous one, you will get the second one. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n into gamma of n. So gamma of 5 equal to here is n plus 1 means 4 plus 1, which is equal to 4 gamma of 4. Here n plus 1 means we should substitute n here. So n plus 1 5. So n is 4. So gamma of 5 equal to 4 into gamma of 4. 4 into gamma of 4. Further we can proceed gamma of 4 by above formula n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. You will reach the answer. Here also n is greater than 0. Here n is greater than 0. The previous one n is greater than 1. Here n is greater than 0. Now the third formula is third property. We have gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. N is a positive integer. N is a positive integer. When n follows a positive integer, gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. For example, gamma of 6 is equal to n plus 1 equal to 6. So n equal to 5. So gamma of 6 is equal to 5 factorial. When we apply this result, gamma of 6 is equal to 5 gamma of 5. Again moving 5 into this gamma of 5 equal to n minus 1 gamma n minus 1. So 4 gamma of 4. Then again we can go with the formula 5 into 4 into gamma of 4 is n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. 3 into gamma 3. And then again we can go with the formula 5 4 3 into gamma of 3 is 2 gamma of 2. Then again we can move with the formula 5 4 3 2 into gamma of 2 is 1 gamma of 1. Gamma of 1 is 1. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is known as the continuous product of first n natural numbers. This is known as factorial 5. The continuous product of first n natural number is known as the factorial. So 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 is known as factorial. So gamma of n plus 1 is n factorial. So gamma of 6 is 5 factorial. I have tabulated here. This is very easy case. So the property number 3 is here. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. You can understand by use of this problem gamma of 6 easily. And another property number 4 we have here. The property number 4 is gamma of pi by 2. This is only applicable for gamma of 1 by 2. Sorry, gamma of 1 by 2 equal to. Now property number 4 here. This is only applicable for gamma of 1 by 2. That is equal to pi by 2. This is the derived result. You need not to, sorry, pi. Gamma of pi by 2, 1 by 2 equal to root pi. Gamma of pi by 2. Listen carefully here. Gamma of 1 by 2 equal to root pi. This is a derived result already. You need not to go further. Just whenever gamma of 1 by 2 enters in your problem, you can directly substitute as root of pi. So gamma of 1 by 2 is root pi. Gamma of 1 equal to 1. These are the fixed result. So other than 1 by 2, 1 is given. You can apply the formula and then continue the process. You will find the answer. I have given all the information about gamma integral to complete your exercise number 2.10 here. So we can move to our exercise. In our exercise, first problem is given as gamma of 4. To evaluate gamma of 4. Gamma of 4 is given. Evaluate gamma of 4. We have one property. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial, and n is a positive integer. N is positive integer. So here we can substitute for gamma of n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Here n plus 1 equal to 4, given 4 equal to n plus 1. So which implies n equal to 4 minus 1 is 3. So we can move with this formula, substituting that, which is equal to, this is n plus 1. N plus 1 means 3 plus 1. That is n is 3. So we can substitute as 3 factorial. That is n factorial is 3 factorial. Are you clear? Else you write one more step here. Gamma of 4 equal to gamma of 3 plus 1. Now this is in the form of n plus 1, which is equal to n factorial. That is 3 factorial. We know the value of 3 factorial. The consecutive product 3 into 2 into 1, that is equal to 6. That's all. This is the value of gamma of 4. That is first sum in our exercise 2.10. Now the second problem. Second one is given gamma of 9 by 2. Gamma 9 by 2 is our second question in exercise 2.10. Here it is not an integer. So we can go with another formula. Gamma of n equal to gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma of n. Gamma of n minus 1. N minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. Here n is greater than 1. That's all. Here we needed the value of n is greater than 1. If n greater than 1, we can move with the formula gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. So here n is greater than 9 by 2 is 4.5 is greater than 1. We can move with the formula gamma of n equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. Substituting here we have, that is equal to n minus 1, 9 by 2 minus 1 gamma of 9 by 2 minus 1. 9 by 2 minus 1 gamma of 9 by 2 minus 1. Look at here, 9 by 2 minus 1 equal to 7 by 2. Then find out 7 by 2 minus 1 is 5 by 2. Again find out 5 by 2 minus 1 as 3 by 2. Again find out 3 by 2 minus 1 equal to 1 by 2. Stop here. Then substitute continuously here. Now 9 by 2 minus 1 is 7 by 2. Then gamma of 9 by 2 minus 1 is gamma 7 by 2. Then gamma 7 by 2 means we have 7 by 2 into, for 7 by 2 it is 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2. And then next 7 by 2 into 5 by 2, for gamma 5 by 2, 5 by 3 and 3 by 2 into gamma of 3 by 2. For gamma of 3 by 2 it is again 7 by 2, 5 by 2, 3 by 2. For gamma of 3 by 2 it is again 1 by 2, gamma 1 by 2. We can stop here. Listen carefully here. For every For every consecutive steps, we are moving this formula n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. We are applying again the same formula. For gamma of 9 by 2, 9 by 2 minus 1 gamma of 9 by 2. Then it is simplified as 7 by 2. So here gamma 7 by 2. This next step 7 by 2, gamma of 7 by 2 means 7 by 2 minus 1 into gamma 7 by 2. So it is 7 by 2, gamma of 7 by 2 is 5 by 2 into gamma of 5 by 2. Again moving 5 by 2 minus 1, gamma of 5 by 2 minus 1. So 3 by 2, gamma of 3 by 2. The next step 3 by 2 minus 1, gamma of 3 by 2 minus 1. So 3 by 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2 into gamma of 3 by 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2. You can proceed this way easily. Calculate first here, then substitute the result in the next steps. That is very easy to calculate. Now we can simplify this. No one get cancelled in the numerator and denominator, and we have formula for gamma of 1 by 2 equal to root of pi. Gamma of 1 by 2 equal to root pi is one of our property. Substituting here, we will have, simplify this, 7, 5, 35, 35 into 3, here 35 into 3. When you multiply 7 into 5 into 3, 7 5s are 35, 35 into 3 105, divided by 2, 4, 8, 16 into root of 1 by 2 equal to root pi. So this is the answer for our second question. So gamma of 9 by 2 will be equal to 105 16 by 16 into root pi. This type of problem will be asked in 2 mark. They are very important cases. Now next we are moving to another problem, question number 3.